What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be talking about the big question that everyone has. The big question, here's the answer right here. Why entrepreneurship? Why do I go away from this kind of normal routine, kind of, I guess, standard or expectation route, which is college, good job, all of that jazz? Why do I leave all of that behind to go pretty much be a personal trainer and make very little money? Is what it looks like. Because at the end of the day, when you are starting entrepreneurship, you're taking a huge step back. So, a little bit on my background. So, I feel like I don't really have the standard entrepreneur story. I hear a lot of guys out there talking about, like, oh, school failed me, and I realized, like, I wasn't motivated, and so I went and I made money on, like, whatever. That is not true. I was top of my class at a pretty decent school. I mean, I was involved in basketball, founder of the chess club because I'm a nerd. Spoiler alert. And I had a lot of options. So going into kind of my career path, I guess. So pretty much from the time I was 4 years old, my path was always engineering. It switched between biomedical, electrical, mechanical, aerospace, but at the end of the day, engineering. I was in contact with Lockheed Martin, Bell Helicopter, Boeing International, Alcon Steel, and a few other smaller places, all paying pretty good. I think the highest paying actually was the U.S. Navy um, for a nuclear engineering position. Starting salary, it was somewhere between 90 and 120 plus full tuition. So pretty decent starting money. I mean, six figures starting at 20 something years old is pretty solid. So that was one option. And then the other thing is I was very involved in basketball. So I am a huge stats nerd. I mean, anything with analytics. I made some pretty decent money sports betting. I have a spreadsheet after spreadsheet of pretty much every single thing that could impact the score of the game, and I could essentially predict the score of an NBA game within like 1 or 2 points. So getting the lines, the player props came pretty easy just because, again, I am a stats nerd. And so I was in contact with a few colleges. I was supposed to go to Missouri, and I was going to do some analytics for them. I don't know how much I can say because I started ducking the coach's calls because I decided college is not for me. What? That's crazy. And so that's kind of the part where everyone gets on me. They're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're throwing your life away, which I understand. I mean, if I went through with Missouri, they had contacts with the Washington Wizards. Starting salary, I think, was only like, I say only, but it was like somewhere between 80 and 90, I think. Either way, no matter what the salary is, like, hanging out with NBA players professionally, pretty cool, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I have two, I guess, kind of offers, for lack of a better word, for really prestigious, really respected career paths or journeys or whatever word you want to use. And I turned down all of that to go be a personal trainer. So now we're going to get into that almost. So my first exposure to entrepreneurship was my sophomore or junior year of high school. So it would have been late COVID. If y'all remember COVID, lots of fun, so much fun. We basically just sat in the house all the time. And so me and my buddy, I'll leave his name out of it. I might drop it in the comments if he accepts. But we started working on a all natural plant-based protein. We had, I think, nearly 500 tests or whatever, and we were trying to beat out whey protein was our goal, but do it all natural without all the chemicals and the stuff that's in the protein shakes, all the chemical reactions and whatnot that make it bad for you. And so we had pretty much 90% bean base. So we spent about a year testing that and getting it ready to distribute. We never actually sold or formed an LLC or anything, but we like handed out to friends. We went to a few places, and anyways, pretty cool. And so in the process of this, we both, me and my partner at the time, my business partner, did a lot of research on kind of business as a whole. It's reading books, YouTube, whatever it may be. And I found a guy, y'all probably know who he is. I talk about him all the time, personal hero of mine, the one and only Alex Hermosi, the most jacked entrepreneur, one of the most successful men who I have been able to take some information from and just really roll with it. and he's been a big inspiration of mine. We realized I had some issues with housing my senior year of high school, and so we couldn't continue to test our product. I was kind of bouncing between friends' places and stuff. It really doesn't matter. But that was that. And so we had the name Hack Nutrition. So then my senior year, I had an internship as a data analyst for, you might have heard, it's a real small company. It's called Chick-fil-A. Anyways, I did a lot of kind of financial work, data analysis, efficiency, a lot of small stuff, but I did have, I think, one or two spreadsheets published across like every Chick-fil-A in the nation. So I know that sounds lame, but pretty cool. Again, I increased revenue, I think it was about 30,000 per week. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look at this spreadsheet. It's been at least a year since I've even looked at it. But yeah, I worked for Chick-fil-A for a while. That was my first real experience with like actual hands-on business stuff, actual hands-on finance, efficiency, productivity, and kind of the, for lack of better words, entrepreneurial aspect of things. And so that really opened my eyes to the possibility, and it gave me a direct insight of watching a business grow, watching what bottlenecks to break. And it really opened up in my mind kind of the performance-based earnings, because if you're working, let's say you're working fast food for Chick-fil-A, for example, you make what, 10, 15 bucks an hour, no matter how fast you run the bags, no matter how many cars or you sell, how many sandwiches you distribute, whatever it may be, no matter how many napkins you pass out, it's just 10, 15 bucks an hour, whatever they pay. And that's that. But it opened my eyes to kind of the performance-based pay. Of course, I wasn't on performance-based pay. I was an intern, but it made me see that if you're on top, if you're either an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur who has a structure based on performance, like sales, for example, like a commission base, something like that, that the opportunity is endless. And if you can find that bottleneck, break that bottleneck, and reach the next level, that everything in between, that top line goes straight to you. And it really opened my eyes to what's possible, because I'd gone my whole life thinking engineering is like one of the highest paid jobs you can get, and it's like the best thing you can do, and that's what everyone always told me. And engineering, I mean, after some experience, it's probably 120 to 150, which is a good salary, don't get me wrong. But when I saw you could increase, 30,000 a week, that's insane. So that just kind of opened my eyes to the possibility. So then we go to, this would have been the year after I graduated high school. I met a dude that I played basketball with, and this was probably my biggest mistake, is going into business with a dude that I've known for like 2 weeks. I'm not gonna give any information. If y'all know me, y'all know I'm not gonna come in here and be like, oh, this dude sucks, blah, 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 blah. I take full accountability. I should have figured out who I was dealing with before I, trusted him with a portion of my company. So we started, it's called Take Flight, Gyms and Training. And again, this is where the personal training part comes. I wonder, why is this little toothpick teaching me about getting big? I'm not. This little toothpick is 6'5", plays basketball, and can jump pretty high for a white boy. Now, but for real, I got a pretty decent vertical. And so throughout high school, a lot of my friends were like, oh, teach me how to dunk. I had a friend who was 6'9", 6'8", somewhere in there. He could not dunk. It was insane. And so I got a lot of my friends jumping. I had a dude who was, I think, 5'6", was one of my first clients, and we didn't get him dunking quite yet because the company went under, but we got him touching the rim, which was huge in my opinion. And then it really just opened my mind. It gave me the first, just jumping in head first experience with business. That company did go under. Again, there were some issues with a business partner. He ended up getting our permits pulled for a big event that we were having, which left me pretty deep in debt. And then he ended up just disappearing. I think he moved to Austin, which is like 4 hours from where I am. Just like a week after the issue, ghosted me and left me about $5,000 in debt. So, buddy, I appreciate it. If you want to pay me back, like, No, but for real, I don't hold a grudge. Again, I should have done more research on the person. I should have taken more time to know him before giving him a portion of the business, and that is full accountability on my end. But that is for those of y'all who are like, oh, I saw this dude posting dunk videos and then he just disappeared. Here's y'all's answer. Your boy did not research who he was getting into business with, got our permits pulled, got us into some trouble, got escorted out by police because we didn't have permits for the huge event. Our expected revenue from the event was $27,000 in one day. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna rehash the past, but that is just some fun stuff that I got to deal with. But anyways, going over that though, I am on to my next business venture with someone that I trust way more than honestly pretty much anyone else, which is the love of my life, Cadence. So coming this summer, y'all gonna see more and more. We're almost done with construction. We're gonna open up pretty soon. So again, I'm under NDA, non-disclosure agreement, so I can't say much, but Arlington, Texas, look out. We coming up. We playing fast. We playing hard. We playing to win. So that's pretty much my story for entrepreneurship. And if anyone's asking why I get into entrepreneurship, my answer to that would be the performance-based cap, or I guess lack of salary cap on that. I mean, even in probably sales is probably the industry you can make the most based on your own performance. But it gives you the opportunity to where if I put in the work, I know that I can increase. When I start working, I'm losing $15 an hour. And then I fix this thing. Now I'm making $10 an hour. Fix this thing. Now I'm making $100 an hour. Making 1,000, making 10,000. It just keeps going up based on your own input. And so that's where anyone who believes in like the hard work, anyone who believes in perseverance, the grit, and basically overcoming whatever challenges and becoming the best version of yourself, I think entrepreneurship is a great thing for you. However, if you are someone who is not very determined, if you are lazy, if you are someone who gives up on things pretty quick or doesn't put in the work necessary, I would honestly encourage you to really evaluate yourself before jumping into this. I was working, I think, 116 hours a week with Take Flight for the first about 3 months. And then I cut back to 80 once we were open for business. But I mean, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort, a lot of sleepless nights. I was sleeping like 3 nights a week, maybe. So just take it with a grain of salt. It is hard work. I feel like a lot of people don't know what hard work is, but you will know with entrepreneurship, you will know what hard work is. The word will be redefined for you genuinely. So that's my only advice. My only caution is make sure you're up for the challenge. But if you are up for the challenge, I think it is the best way to prove yourself, because the only limit is your own ability. And then you work on yourself, improve your ability, and the possibilities are endless, and you're the next big thing. And so that's my advice to you, anyone who's looking into entrepreneurship. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. Go make some money. Y'all some champs, man.